Well, welcome everyone to Money and Meaning, Kinder Institute of Life Planning's blog, where we tell the stories of registered life planners from around the globe. I'm Lora Woodward, Communications Director for Kinder Institute, and this is our I'm a Registered Life Planner series. I'm thrilled today to be joined by Frank Stolarz with Karma Barn Yoga Studio and Perfect Day Strategies Life Planning and head of St. Margaret's Bay, Nova Scotia, Canada. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you, Laura. So good to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And I believe I'm right in that this is right around your 10th year anniversary as a registered life planner. Is that right?
Exactly. I can still remember the day.
How has our life planning methodology impacted your life and as a personally and as a financial planner?
It started out as financial life planning for me, but more importantly, it started out as the deep, meaningful, and spiritual connection that George brings to money. And I was drawn to that because in my own practice, as a financial planner, I was strictly focusing on the money side of things, and I knew there was more. I just had to go deeper with it. So personally, it really struck a chord with me, and it was a challenge then to how to bring that into the world.
Mm-hmm. You worked as a financial planner, owning your own business for I think 34 years.
That's right.
And then life planning came in maybe right at the end of that. How have you been able to, how did you go about implementing life planning into your own practice?
Early on, especially soon after doing the trainings with the Kinder Institute, I was on fire and wanted to bring that to my financial planning community. So I let them know, just broadcast that through our internal communication channels, and was pleasantly surprised that some clients embraced it immediately and were quite excited and proud and happy that I had taken this path. So as I started to bring that out into the community, it was started to realize that this is something that, as George says, this is something that I do, and it become less of what I did and more of just something that I did. So there was still a considerable number of clients and the business that I was involved in that centered around simply the money side of things, as opposed to, we'll say, the deeper, more meaningful life aspect of money as it relates to what they were doing.
Yeah. And one of the things that happens when you go through the Evoke life planning training is that you get life planned yourself. So I'm curious, what was your experience being life planned, and what maybe came out of the life planning process for you personally?
Wow, that's such a great question, and it takes me back. It takes me back to that time when we were doing the Evoke training, and I had earlier on, probably around 2003 or 2002, being involved in another coaching program, had created what I call the Meaningful Money Associations process, and it was my unique process of how I brought value and money and clarity to people's relationship with their money. And so I had more or less left it dormant until then, finding George and the Kinder Institute, it allowed me and really, started to put the fire back in me as far as bringing this out into the world. And so I was able to get all fired up about how meaningful money was going to move into the world and take over the world. It lit my fire, or I should say the whole Evoke training lit my fire in a big way. So,
Mm. Yeah, that's wonderful to hear.
yeah.
One of the things, because I know you sold your practice a couple of years ago, that may have come out of your having a torch, was actually writing a book. Can you tell us a bit more about your book?
Right. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Laura. The book I wrote, it's called Perfect Day Strategies, Life Planning, and it's about the process that I created around life planning. Not so much the money side of things. I had written it sort of at the start of COVID as I was finishing up my business, but it really outlines the process, and it starts with recognizing that all of us have profound dreams and unique experiences. It's sometimes they get let's say veiled or disguised or smothered in various things, life, and we need to return to that point of our clarity and our essence around why we're here, what we're meant to do, as George so commonly says, is what we're meant to do, and really coming into what I describe as the magnificence of who we are.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I know that, like, for you, in addition to writing this book, you said that you turned over your practice to your daughter, and you have your own yoga studio now and life planning practice. So it sounds like you found that fire within yourself, and you're kind of continuing to spread that into your community. So can you tell me a bit more about, like, what's part of your torch right now?
Well, the whole notion of the Karma Barn, and it provided me with a venue for doing the life planning, practicing and teaching yoga, and tacking on there also an opportunity to go deeper into the not that I'm doing financial planning anymore, but also just to have conversations in and around money as it relates to their life. Mm-hmm. So I use the training that I received through the life planning to also tap into people's concerns about money. Not so much that we talk about how to invest, where to invest, but just going deeper into their experience and the relationship with money as it relates to their life.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, do you have a client success story that you might be able to share with us?
Sure.
Related to life planning.
Well, one story actually, maybe I'll share a couple with you, but one story in particular sort of came back to mind as I knew we were going to be talking, and it was a financial planning client, of course, and as we got talking about life planning and talking about her heart's core, she shared with me a real personal heart's core and fun too thing that she wanted to do. And she was single, divorced, but had always wanted to be a DJ doing country dances, which was what I thought, here this was a person who, had a job in a bank, and I just found it very much out of character. But she, as we continued to meet over the course of a year, she found herself actually fulfilling her torch and becoming a DJ and conducting or helping or doing dances, which I thought was really cool, because it struck me as something that she was able to reach deep into her heart and soul and start to find this for herself. But another story too that was fascinating, if you have time, is I ended up meeting with a couple that were Americans living in Canada who just fell in love with this idea and thought, well, why isn't everybody doing this? And I was able to, they opened themselves up, they wanted to go through the whole process. So we got going through this. It started out as a financial life planning meeting, but then it turned into so much more for them because they started to realize that this was not just about getting a mortgage or investing some money, but this ended up being about where they wanted to be geographically in their lives, relationship wise in their lives, personally, spiritually in their lives. And they started to reveal to me what was the deepest heart's core concerns that they had about where they were at this particular time in their life. They ended up moving out of the province. It started out that they wanted to buy a house. In the end, they ended up moving out of the province, out of the country, out of the continent, and settling into another part of the world, warmer climate, and living the life of their dreams, sailing, in work that they really enjoy. And so I continue to stay in touch with them. Nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's a real success story. Because so often clients come in with one thing on their mind or multiple things on their mind, all these different stressors, and a particular way of thinking that they need to address them. And what's amazing that comes out of these life planning conversations is that we allow them to explore all of the different things that they want in life. And sometimes they come up with these ways of fulfilling themselves that surprise them and surprise you, and end up actually being able to do that and live their best life, just like that client couple. That's amazing.
That is so true. It starts out as one thing, but at the end of the day, the more you explore and talk about what's really on their minds and what's really deep in their souls, they start to reveal so much more about what's important to them and what they're meant to be doing. So yeah, it's really valuable.
Yeah, that's great. So a couple final questions. I'm curious, what would be one thing that you wish you knew prior to becoming a financial life planner, that somebody that you'd like to tell the future generation of life planners?
Well, I realized as I moved through the financial business that early on, that was an area of career that I wanted to pursue, and I did, and I found success in it, and that was great. But there had always been a part of me that really wasn't in harmony with what I was doing. And it really wasn't until later on, I would say probably 20 years in the business, that I discovered that it's so important to really tap into your own heart's core. If you're not lighting your torch all the time, start and revisit a torch on a regular basis, because in my case, I evolved, I changed. The whole money side of the business, all the rules and regulations and so on and so forth, were not something that I wanted to, an environment that I wanted to continue to be a part of. Yet the life planning aspect always resonated with me more deeply than the financial side. So I would say is continue to tap into, explore for yourself that itch, what is itching you, and scratch it and continue to explore it and deepen it and follow it, and it'll take you to places that you probably never imagined.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, there's probably a lot, but I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit.